Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are the top 5 ways that hatred is passed on in white families. This is definitely a topic that not a lot of white people like to talk about because they prefer to stay race neutral or at least not air their dirty laundry in public, but I do have some things that I want to say. The first way that white people pass on hatred to their kids is literally at the dinner table. I can't even tell you how many times I'd be at another white person's house growing up, and their mom or dad would say something racist and look to their kid like they made a joke and wait for the kid to react. So in that way, the racist remark serves almost as a point of bonding between the parent and the child. The second way that it's passed on is in sports, especially if a white family or a white team is playing against a team that is primarily people of color. White people will say racist things. Did you see that defender? She was really aggressive, and other microaggressions that get passed on to the child. The third way is by discouraging their children from being friends with people of color because of certain innate qualities that they may have. Number 4, moving their kids to an all-white suburb. Number 5, praising celebrities and politicians that are racist.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. So some palm-colored people are coming forward to talk about how they were raised around racism, right? Some of them are straight up emotional about it. They're talking about losing family members because they chose to love someone black, or being kicked out of the family gatherings for calling out racist comments, right? It's powerful, but it's also kind of heartbreaking to realize how deep this stuff runs. Like, entire generations are just recycling hate and calling it family values. Anyways, let's watch these clips. Credit goes to the original creators. Thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this video. Yeah, let's watch them and we'll be back with some commentary.
Oh, shut up.
No.
Can you shut your mouth for a minute?
No.
Because I actually work in the ghetto. I see the people.
Do you know why they're in that
I
position?
see these people.
Do you understand the systematic and historical reason for why they're in that position?
They don't care. All they want to do is be ghetto.
No.
Yes, there's some that don't, and there's good people.
No.
Most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all they
have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had.
Yes, they do, and there's plenty of black people.
No, they don't, Dad.
There's plenty of
And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see them all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, white.
But it's
orange,
a lot harder
yellow.
for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
You're calling people of color black animals. You're calling them animals. Are you kidding me?
You didn't let me finish.
That's not okay. No matter what,
Shit.
that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay. Racism is not okay. Why do you think that racism is okay?
Oh, that's mine.
Really, I'm gonna look at. No, I'm looking at statistics right now.
Your statistics they can be warped. Statistics can be warped. You want me to show you videos?
So why are
Do you want me to show you videos of cops? I will do it.
Statistics wrong?
Because they can be warped. I'm not giving statistics right now. They can be warped. Personal experiences can't.
No, because this is actually putting it into play. When you,
Do I need to show you a bunch of videos of cops attacking protesters? Peaceful protesters.
listen to this. This is the number.
You mean I'm informed and educated?
You're not, though.
Yes, I am.
You're one-sided informed.
Mom, I was watching political stuff and you said to turn that off because you don't want to hear about it. That means that I am educated on it and you are not.
I'm sick of hearing it.
The fact that you can have that ignorance, ignorance for the majority is bliss.
Okay, so
Ignorance for the minority
I'm
is
looking at statistics
destruction.
that are wrong. This is just pure wrong information out there.
Just give me the statistic.
In 2017, 457 white people were shot to death by the police in the United States.
Okay.
223 were black.
76% of the population is white. 13% is black.
I get that.
If they were being killed at the exact same rate by police officers, the rate of black people being killed would be 8.9. But it's not. It's 24%. The rate of white people being killed should be about where it is. So they're being killed at a higher rate. There's more white people, meaning that the amount of people killed by cops who are white would be higher.
The reaction of the person. I'm not saying
Because they're tired.
Not saying it's
they're tired
right.
of being treated
I'm
that way.
not saying it's right.
Good.
But if they started teaching them that this is the world that we live in, you don't want to be killed. Why do you think your friend's father taught him that?
Because his black son doesn't end up dead like Tamir Rice.
Because he doesn't want him to grow up with a chip on his shoulder that
He doesn't
no
want his
police
black son to end up dead.
Exactly.
That's not okay. Why do you think that's okay?
Because
why is it something that you're okay with? Why is that a reality that you're okay with?
I'm okay with it.
But you are.
No, I'm not.
So stand against it. So stand against it. If you're not okay with it, so stand against
when I'll
it.
stand against it? When the black people in the ghetto stop carrying an illegal weapon. When the black people in the ghetto stop murdering each other.
I'll start caring about cops when they stop killing black people.
I'll start caring about black people when they stop killing cops.
Because I have closeted racist family members and they are some of the hardest people to talk to about race because they hold their comfort above everything else. So if you make them feel uncomfortable, they will disengage at any opportunity that you give them. For example, over Thanksgiving this year, which was already a racist holiday and we had already talked about that. So they were already like, ah! But over Thanksgiving, my dad tried to tussle with me a little bit and brought up the fact that per capita, more black people are in jail than white people. And he's German, so he was like, Garcia, what do you think about this? Like, he really thought that he had like an I gotcha moment. And I was like, there's actually a reason for this. Let's talk about generational wealth. Let's talk about gentrification of neighborhoods. Let's also talk about the fact that the police state is meant to enslave people. And after about 30 minutes of the conversation, I was drunk and I said the word fuck. Because I thought that that language was warranted based on the severity of the topic that we were talking about, right? He immediately took that opportunity to disengage and say, we do not use that word in my household, especially because my little sister, my daughter, is a minor. Which, like, she's 15 and, like, on the internet, so... We also use, like, curse words to each other all the time, like, duh, we're sisters, like, fuck. But I was drunk enough to let it derail the conversation, and I was like, who pays for this house? Because my mom is the breadwinner, and the conversation completely derailed. It completely went in a different direction, and we got completely off topic. And what I learned that day was that white comfort is a beast, and it will protect itself at all costs. Oh God, my phone's gonna die. We're at 1%. We like good girls over here. We like bad girls over here. We like girls who fuck for work, and we like girls who like to twerk. Anyway, the reason that I know that the word fuck was not the sole source of his discomfort was because 30 minutes prior, we had listened to some of my music, and like, my music, like, I say fuck in my music all the time. Like, I haven't dropped a whole lot, but I say fuck in my music all the time, and he was completely fine with that. My sister was in the room, whole 9 yards. White people, when combating white comfort, you need to kind of meet them where they're at. Like, in order for them to engage with the topic, they need to be in a space where they're like, unfortunately, where they're comfortable enough to engage with you on the topic. I'm like a very aggressive person when it comes to like anti-racism with my family, and that has caused them to never bring up the topic and always like let me rant until they can find an out so that they can shut it down. So what I'm trying to say is you need to watch yourself enough to not give them an out. Force them to engage with the topic. And also, if you have siblings, like I've taught all of my siblings to be anti-racist, so if they ever see my mom or my dad doing something racist, if they don't have the language to say like, hey, this is why this is racist, they will relay the message back to me, and I bring it up at other family gatherings. And it sucks. Like, it sucks to be the person that always ruins family gatherings, but like, you also just kind of have to, like, you have to do it. You have to be the person that invades white spaces and like makes them think critically about this country and what whiteness is.
This white girl made a video talking about when she was growing up that her parents, her grandparents never allowed her to watch black TV shows. Couldn't watch Fresh Prince, couldn't watch Proud Family. She would have to watch it with her siblings and whatnot. And like when they would come in the room, they would have to hit last to put on a white sitcom. Racism has to be the most exhausting full-time job that some of y'all have. Racism is taught directly and indirectly in the home. Even if a parent isn't directly telling their children, these type of people are bad, these type of people are not better than us or less than us, they can indirectly hear it. Phone conversations, husband and wife, etc. Racism is so exhausting. To have that much anger, resentment, rage over skin color, to be honest, it's a mental illness. It really is. I'd argue black sitcoms, black TV shows present you the most life lessons, worldly views around interaction with family, friendships, all of that. I can't even imagine being so racist that my kids can't watch an animated black cartoon. Racism don't even feel real. It's just doing too much.
Dad said when I was growing up, 100%, he told me, I think in high school, if I ever brought a black man home, as a potential romantic partner that he would be disappointed. He didn't say like, don't do that, but he was like, that would be really disappointing to me. When Obama won the presidency, I remember, I was literally in middle school. I was like 12 or 13. And I used to hate being in the car with my dad because we were trapped, right? Like we were just trapped and we couldn't get away. And like he would really utilize his time in the car with us to like lecture and like spew this hate. And I remember he was always so pissed that Barack Obama's middle name is Hussein. And I remember him being like, Ali, his middle name is Hussein. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know what that, like, he was always expecting us to be as, like, outraged as him, but, like, we genuinely, like, didn't understand. I remember one time, my neighbor was a black girl. Her name was Felicia. She was hella sweet. She would come over and be like, hey, can Allie come out to play, da-da-da-da-da. And I remember one time she had a sty in her eye. And, like, my dad saw it and was like, you shouldn't go in her house. Like, she's dirty. Like, do you see that she has that? Like, don't touch any of her stuff and, like, you shouldn't go in the house. Trigger warning. This is where it gets kind of, like, really bad. Like, really bad. My dad didn't think he was racist, right? Because he had, like, a black friend. And he used to say to me and my brother, there is a difference between black people and hard R. There is a difference between black people and black people. Dress nicely, speak white, basically. Hey, stop. Have good jobs, are educated. Those are black people. I'm fine with black people. These are thugs and ghetto and would rob you and would you and that whole like super predator bullshit. Like these people they're on drugs, they're dirty. Like that's the difference. We can be friends with black people, but like basically they're not even people. Like there was a very clear distinction in his mind, and he wasn't racist because he was friends with black people. He used to ask me from a very young age if I was a Democrat or Republican. The correct answer is Republican. And he would ask me that all the time growing up. Like when I was like 10, 11, he'd be like, you're a Republican, right, Allie? And I'd be like, yeah, I don't know what that means. But it was this super early indoctrination. And then specifically, I remember, this was when I was in high school, at the Thanksgiving dinner table, he called people in the Middle East sand N-word. And like, I was like, Dad, that is so messed up. Like, what are you saying right now? Like that, do not say that. Like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, what? They are. And it was just like, it was bad. It was really bad.
5 years ago, I was scrolling on Facebook and I came across a post from a girl that I used to be best friends with when I was in the first grade. And the post said, what is your earliest childhood memory of experiencing racism? And she said, when I was in first grade, my best friend came to school one day and told me that she could no longer be my friend because I was black. My heart broke into a million pieces when I read that, and it really, really hurts to know that something so traumatizing and awful that happened to her as a child is attached to me, even though that was not something that I did, something that I wanted. I loved her. She was my very first girl best friend, and that was not a decision that I made. My dad called the school, and it was such a huge ordeal. He tried to get me put in a different classroom away from her, and I can't believe like that something so evil and terrible that happened to her, like her very first time ever realizing that she's going to be treated differently because of the color of her skin, has my name attached to it. The way that my dad even found out about that is my earliest childhood memory. I don't remember anything else before this day. I was sitting at the dinner table with my family, and I would talk about her, but I would never say her name, or I would use a fake name. My mom knew that I was friends with this girl and that she was black, and she would tell me, like, never tell your dad. And we're sitting at the dinner table, and I accidentally slip and say her name, and my dad looked at me, and he was like, is she black? And I said, yes, and he slapped me across the face. That was so scary. I was terrified. I grew up in a household where we couldn't watch TV shows that were black. Like, I didn't watch That's So Raven. Like, I wasn't allowed to watch The Proud Family. I loved Little Bill, but I wasn't allowed to watch it. And so it would come on half hour before my dad came home from work. And if he came home even like a little bit earlier, I would have the remote ready in case like he walked through the door, I could change the station. I had to pretend like Jump In wasn't my favorite movie, because my dad would have beat my ass. I hid everything from him. He has no idea who I am to this day. Like, I never was ever transparent with my dad about anything. I continued to hide everything from him my entire life, and it's really crazy. I have 2 parents on this earth that are alive and breathing and don't know me or anything about me.
This might be a hot take, but if you're a white person, do not cut off your racist family members. The reason why is that if you fully cut them off and you're like, you're racist, I'm done with you, they aren't going to associate you leaving them with their hatred, with their behavior, because they don't think that they're doing anything wrong. But slowly, if you continue to gain their trust in a neutral, objective way, you might be able to get through to them. I've seen it happen. I've had conversations with white people where I start out on their side. I let them say their sort of insensitive comments, slowly work my way in there to hear what they have to say, and then I flip it. So for example, a white person will say to me, maybe a relative, maybe a random person, you know, I'm just so frustrated with the amount of immigrants that's coming into this country. You can say, yeah, that's understandable. But I think it's important to keep in mind that immigrants are here to make a better life for themselves. There's enough room for everybody. The government could be doing a better job, but they're not. So ultimately, it's sort of their fault if you think about it. And those little objective statements are what get through to them. Do not cut them off. Please. It is our responsibility as white people to educate other white people. It is not the responsibility of people of color. Peace and love.
So I think this is what accountability really looks like, right? Not just calling out racism when it's convenient, but looking at where it came from and deciding that it stops with you. Because unlearning something that was passed down to you takes courage. And I think more people need to see that. Anyways, thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this video. Credit goes to all the original creators. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please drop your thoughts in the comments so I can know what you think. And as usual, I'll see you on my next one.